boom boom. But I am
I think it's either the line that we left off on or right before. Where is it? Starts a Levad Zeis. First.
It's at the end of the Valley.
Huh?
The one begins Zeus, right? So the Hatira Nishach Gili.
Yeah. So
I'm Shach is Oer.
Hine al Yidei Zeh is the canal Hine, so and the Levad Zeis Hine al Yidei Zeh Gerimim. So I have questions on both parts of it. First off is that when we say that the Teira is Nimshach Erev Agile, okay, what we said yesterday is that the Kalim are responsible for being Nimshach the air.
The Teira is the Keli.
The Teira is the Kali.
Mm-hmm.
How? But okay,
Teira is Nikras Derech. That's what calling Teira Derech.
yeah, but we said wasn't the whole idea of the Kali that the Kali itself wants the air, because the Kali doesn't have it. The Ma'ir itself has no inclination to give it over. It's only that the Kali solicits it. The whole idea of Hamshacha, that it is responsible for drawing it down. But the Teira is air.
Teira is the Keli, the Derech. Calling Nikras Derech. So Derech for Oer Laki to come into the world.
I mean, I guess I just don't understand. Just I guess the idea that the Teira and the Eibishter is one thing. Talking to Hashem, the Teira, you would not think that the Teira is something which is.
Ja, das ist eine Narrigkeit already. Teira equals Derech.
Yeah.
Derech means this is the way that Oer Laki comes down. So your question why you say that Teira is wanting Hashem. Because the Keli of Teira is completely bottled to Elokus. And it completely and represents it completely. But this is a Keli, this is a means by which it comes out.
Right, and so then what's the distinction between the first part and the second part? The second part that seems to be like the stronger statement, Gerimim Klolis Inyan Hamshach as opposed to Nimshach Erev Agile.
Right. The first part is that even if there is oil, to hold onto the oil, you need a keli. Otherwise, the oil would dissipate, would rise back. And the second thing is to initiate the hamshach of the oil, to start with. Because mitzad atzmus, there is nothing compelling that it should be oil. This is what he's going to explain. We're up to that he's going to be discussing now. Goyim klolus in hamshachas oir. We explained it yesterday. I mean, at least in principle. Okay?
I'm not understanding the distinction that you're saying, that it's not only the Kli which is responsible for having some type of achiza in the air, but it causes the Hamshach. That's what we said. We said that the Kalim are responsible for the Hamshacha, that the Kalim are...
Klolus in hamshachas oir means what?
The whole concept, the whole...
That's right, the initial. One thing is to hold on to the oil once it's there. You need a keli, otherwise the oil would rise up. The other thing is to initiate it in the first place.
But when we say that the Kli has an achiz in the air, it has to initiate it, because the Ma'ir itself would not initiate it.
Well, that's what he's saying, that klolus in hamshachas oir. Not only that the oil, because the nature of the oil is lalas l'maylo, but the klolus in hamshachas oir. To initially create the oil is also due to the keli. All right?
Mm-hmm.
And we also explained yesterday the importance of the beetle. That Ein Sof is share only if there is beetle. Because there's absolutely no relationship, no reason for the hamshacha. If there is a beetle, so then there could be that hamshacha. But there is no beetle. There's no way that there could be some kind of a to bridge this gap. So this is going to be discussed in a much greater detail as we go now. And now we're going even to the higher level. The klolos in hamshacha is the initial inyan of oyer in the first place. It's also as a result of the keli, and it's also the beetle of the keli. The hinan is boiling yield. Here we have the place.
Which line?
No, the line is in the middle of that of page above, page Zayin, and the line starts with what goyrmim, closing hamshachas oyer. The hine is boiling yield. To explain this principle, what the effect of the kelim is, even to the extent that the kelim are the ones that are goyrim, that are the initial causes for the hamshach of the oyer in the first place. Inyan hamshachas oyer. The inyan is boiling. Well, we explained earlier, the hamshachas hakav nikrot sinoir. That this kav that they say is nimshach after the tzimtzum, it's called a tziner. As we said, it's a conduit. And the tziner, oisi is rotzai. Tziner spells also the same word of rotzai. What is the relationship? Hainu. What this is pointing to is Rotzoin Li is Geiloi Oeboilmes. The Rotzon that there should be a Giloi Oiren Oilmes. And that is essentially the Tzinoir, and that is the Kav. The initial trigger force behind the kav is that there's a rotzain that there should be gilui ba'ilmes. As a result of that, in order to be gilui ba'ilmes, it has to come in the form of a tziner, which is the kav. In order to bring about this rotzain that there should be gilui ba'ilmes, alidei hatzimtzum v'hanochas atzmusei kaviyochel. This is actually as the result, and it is as a result of a tzimtzum v'hanochas atzmusei, that atzmus kaviyochel, Oirin Sof, disregards his own stance, and he puts himself aside in order to facilitate the Gilui in Oilmas. What's the pshat? Let's understand this a little bit. shehu b'bchinas ein soif u'bli tachlis. Says that Atzmus is bli soif and bli tachlis. And in order that there should be this this rotzein, so there has to be hanochas atzmus, it has to be disregard, so to speak, to this essential element that he is bli soif and bli tachlis. Li yoisloy rotzein zeh. There's a mitzamtzum himself, he puts himself on the side of Kaviyachol, in order that he should have this rotz. This rotzein, in other words, is not an inherent rotzein in Atzmos, in Ein Sof. On the contrary, this rotzein can come only as a result of tzimtzum, v'anochas atzmus. In other words, the whole time we're talking about tzimtzum, commonly when we talk about tzimtzum, we're talking about the facilitation of the oil and oilums. The oil has to come in oilums, and to come to oilums, it has to come through the tzimtzum. Now we're pointing out a much deeper, a much higher element. Because we said that the kelim are the ones who initiate to begin with the whole hamshoch of oil. Not only that they enable the oil to come down, to stay put, but that they initiate the whole lineage that there should be such a thing as oil. So now we are talking about why do we need kelim? Why do we need anything to trigger this? That there should be oil. Oil comes together with the etzem. Says no. The etzem is ein sof ein sof bli gvul v'tachlis. So in order that there should be a rotzin to be nimshach in world, that is the result of tzimtzum anochas atzmusei, where he's mitzamtzum himself and brings out in himself an inyan that is completely below his station. Okay, li is loy rotzen zeh. In order that he should have this rotzein, he has to go through a tzimtzum v'anochas atzmusik aviyochel, and he has to disregard his own stance, because he is b'pchinas ein sof bli tachlis, in order to bring about that there should be this rotzein to begin with. V'chein gam horotz in the Torah mitzvahs who al dei hatzimtzum. The rotzim for Torah mitzvahs is also al dei hatzimtzum. This is a different element of tzimtzum than we normally refer to tzimtzum. This is the tzimtzum in atzmus itself. Tzimtzum anochas atzmus. All right. So we'll go through just the initial presentation. Then we'll talk about it a little bit more in a so to speak in a comprehensive manner. V'zeh inyan. This principle that we are now presenting, that the rotzen comes as a result of tzimtzum v'anochas atzmusei, is is also represented in that which is normally said, Shehakeser hu bechinas bitul harotz. This is the inyan that we said that keser is the inyan is represented bechinas bitul harotz. The keser is bitul harotz. What's when bitul harotz is mevatel his own harotz. This is a very, very deep and very subtle thing, and we'll have to take it step by step. And Mitzvah will bring it out. And just let's follow through on it, step by step. As for example, by Yidden, Ma sheyigdimu nase lenishma. This chair is making noises, right?
Joining in.
Excuse me, let me just switch. Quiet. It doesn't give an accompaniment. It's okay. When Eden came to Har Sinai, in order to receive the Torah, he says, Higdimu nase lenishma. They preceded the statement of Nased for Nishma. And this, Hareza Bechinas Ksor, and it says that as a result, when Eden said Nased and Pedal Nishma, so they got a Keser, Ukmaimer. And as the saying in the Hazal is, Kosher Lahem Shnei Ksor. The Malachi Ashoris came down at that moment, and they tied on the Yidden Shnei Ksorim, 2 crowns. Kneged Nase v'Nishma. The 2 crowns is corresponding to Nase and corresponding to Nishma. Benoida, and it is known that the principle behind the Hagdom as Nase v'Nishma, the principle behind the Inyan as Nase v'Nishma, hu Inyan bitul horotzoi. It is the principle of bitul harotz, of the bitul of the harotz, and we'll discuss it more. V'nikro zeh keser, and this bitul harotz is called keser. I said nadomas naso nishma is called keser. Hare, thus we see from that episode of Agdomas Naso Nishma by Yidden. So we see from this sheha keser hu inyan bitul harotz, that the whole principle of Keser is the union from Bitul Harotz. Ukmoikei Lamailo. And the similar union is Lamailo. Inyan HaKeser. What did HaKeser Lamailo? Hu inyan Bitul Harotz in Kaviyochel. Is in from Bitul Harotz in Bar Meibashen. Shvat Harotz in Ho'el in Ho'atzmi. That atzmus should be mevatel rotzen ho'elin ho'atzmi. The essential rotzen ho'elin should be pchinas ein soif, which is in the form of ein soif. Li is loy rotzen b'teiru mitzvahs, so that the rotzen b'teiru mitzvahs should come out, should be b'sut service. Doesn't mean bitul harotz. All right. So let's try and get a little bit of a handle of what we are talking about. We are able to do this because we already discussed many times the principle of Rotzen, the principle of the initial Rotzen, the essential Rotzen. Now we're coming to face the principle of Bitul Harotzen Ho'atzmi. What is Rotzen Atzmi? And the Rotzen Atzmi we're saying is Rebchinas Ein Soif. And from this Rotzen Atzmi can go through an inyan from a Tzimtzum Rotzen Atzmi. Then there could be a inyan of Rotzen Utero Mitzvahs, a Rotzen from Lo'elamis and so forth. The New Harotzen, we discussed, I said, at various opportunities lately. The first thing on the lowest level is the Ayin, and it says, Kol dover roitze b'kiyumai. Everything, roitze b'kiyumai. Everything wants its own being. It wants its own being. But this statement, I'm almost contrasting it. We should not mistake it with the foolishness that they say that he wants to just to exist. The Roitze B'Kiyumi is a pshat say. In everything there is a significance, there's a truth. This truth is not an inadvertent occurrence. It is an intentional occurrence. Everything that exists in the world, like we learn in the Chumash, right? Things were created by Dibur, specific. And everything in that Dibur represents a rotzen, represents a significance in the creation of that particular thing. The intent and the significance of that particular creation, this is the truth of it. This is the godly spark that it represents. This is what states home. That thing has a significance. And nothing appreciates the significance of that particular thing as than the thing itself. Everything wants itself. Why does it want itself? Because this is the greatest Gilui Elokus that it has. Itself. There's a saying, Basil Homler was a great chassid. Time of Tzemach Tzedek, Mamash, a great Basil Homler. I think he was even a teacher of Reb Hillel Paritcher, if I'm not mistaken. Basil Homler was a great man. Basil Homler used to say that when you'll come l'mayla, he is not concerned that they will not demand of him, why weren't you Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov? But he is concerned that they will demand of him, why were you not Isaac? Why didn't you bring out all the good that was invested in you as such? What's so great about you? Everything that was created, every individual, is a godly design. And nobody appreciates, nobody understands that design that is contained in therein as he himself. And this is why we say, Roitze, he wants it. Which means he wants it. He has it. Roitze means he appreciates it, he wants it. Because this is his sense of Elokus, his sense of godliness is through that particular inyan that he is. Das meint Roitze b'kiyumi. We discuss it in, various pages. A person wants to be somebody else, he's being a fool. He doesn't. He doesn't want. He doesn't want it in the true sense. He wants it for silly reasons. The real want of the nefesh is to be itself. If he is himself, so what is the rotzen? He wants to be himself. That's what the rotzen is. That he recognizes that this Indian that he is a godly creation. And it's not, and therefore he wants to promote it, and he wants to bring it out in the full glory, in full cognizance. In other words, what we are saying that there are two madrigas over here. There is the essential presence itself, and then there is a recognition of that presence. That's in the Rotz. The essential truth itself, that cannot be altered. That cannot be present or not present. Because the Rebbe created, the Rebbe made it. But that, on the other hand, neither can that really be translated in any functional manner. The neshama itself cannot speak. What gives a person speech? His will to speak. His will to express. In other words, this rotzen, that he wants to be a human being, he is essentially a human being. But when that Indian that he is a human being is sensed at the level of rotzen, that's when everything begins to function. That's why we say that seichel is within rotzen. When the seichel begins to function, that he wants to understand and he understands and so on, it's at the level of rotzen. Rotzen, in other words, is the recognition of what he is. There is what he is, and there is what in recognition of what he is. So when Yidden said Nasa v'nishma, which means Rotzen is the recognition of what he is. What is a human being? A human being is Rotzen, he wants to express himself. He wants to be what he is. When Eden said Nasa v'nishma, they went beyond the Rotzen. And I said, this is the Bittul HaRotzen. They went to the essential element that there is there, to the essence itself. Not to the expression, to the Rotzen of the essence, it is Bittul HaRotzen. Because without the Rotzen, he wants to be, also express himself. Not Nasa v'nishma. Nasa v'nishma is not expressing himself. Nasa v'nishma is expressing the Lakus, not him. This is what's called Bittul at its inception, at the highest level. Almost up to the time. Because his battle, the very self. How can you be battle with the very self? What remains of it there? What remains of it there? Okay, please follow this. You said, what is the Reitz B'Kiyumah? Because you recognize that this is the Elokus that's in him. So it's one thing to want the Elokus that's in him, and the other thing is to be the Elokus that is in him. Those are the Bittul HaRotzen. To want the Elokus is the experience of the Elokus. Bittul HaRotzen is, no, I'm not my own, I'm not myself, I'm yours. And therefore, Nasa v'nishma, the unity between Reibesh and between Eden, between Reibesh and Nasa v'nishma, is a perfect unity. It doesn't go even through our rotzen. I want what you made me. I don't have I and you as one thing. That's what bittul rotzen, and this is why this is keser. What's the relationship with keser? Keser, we have to be very brief now. Keser is the memutza, so to speak, the intermediate between the boire and the nivra. This is the state where the boire becomes nivra. When there is a rotzen of the nivra, I have a rotzen. The Rebbe gave me the rotzen, but and the rotzen is in full conformity with what the Rebbe gave me, but it's still my rotzen. Then there is the element that is just a step before that. This is what the Rebbe himself made, and I am what the Rebbe made. I'm not what I appreciate of it, but what he made. This is the bittul harotzen. And this bittul harotzen, this is what facilitates saying Nasa v'nishma. That at that moment, Yidden and the Rebbe are manus one thing. This is what's called keser. Keser is the keser, the crown of all activities, of everything that follows. Brings down elokus in everything. Lamaila, similarly, there is the Inyan. The Inyan that there is a keser lamaila. Keser means that which provides for the Seder Hishtalshus, that there should be really an elements. The keser is a result of bittul harotz. Rotzen eliki is elikus and atzmos. To be atzmos. That's a rotzen eliki. It's a pretty lofty want. It wants to be the atzmos. Bittul harotzen is where he is mevatel his own rotzen to be metzamtzim in order to bring out from this rotzen ayin of keser. Ayin that can initiate a union of Seder Hishtalshus of creation, of rotzen ayilos.
So here we're talking about bittul rotzen, which precedes Keser. Obviously, Keser is an Indian of Ratzin itself. They're saying it's Mabatul Ratzin in itself in order to bring out a Ratzin for something else.
But Keser is a Ratzin or Ilamis, and the Bittul Ratzin Atzma.
When we say Kol Davar Reitz B'Kiyumai,
That's Ratzin Atzma.
that's a Ratzin Atzmi. So why did you say that like necessitates that Dibur comes forth or anything like that from a human being? Seemingly you would think that Ratzin Atzmi is just, I just want me, like not functional at all.
The thing is about a human being, as we explained yesterday. A human being is different, because a human being, the Ratzin Atzmi is not to be hidden, but to express what he is. That's what
he essentially is.
That's what he essentially is. But Nasa v'nishma, that's bittul harotzen. We have to interrupt now. To be continued tomorrow, Mitzvah Hashem, wherever you are online.
Is the nishma here that's the
my battery low? What?
The nishma over here is in terms of Lamayla would be the Ratzin Allah Elames, right? We're saying that when the Yidden said Nasa v'nishma, the Nasa part was that they were Mabatul the Ratzin Atzmi. That was the Nasa, and then the Nishma is...
The Nishma comes after that. Once there's the Nasa, the one with Mitayrish, and then they follow through on bringing it down into the world. That's the Nishma. You have to get a new battery.
Been with the pile so long.
What?
Nice.